This video is actually being added at the end of the week by the request of some students and parents. A few of you have emailed me regarding help on the 1.1 homework, or you came in for tutoring and I thought, maybe I should just make a video. So hopefully you're watching this before Friday. I announced in class I'd be making this video because you have a quiz tomorrow. So just in case you couldn't get in for tutoring or you just need a little bit of extra help, this is hopefully going to help iron out any issues that you're having. So first, let me remind you, fractions are your friends. Please, please, please do not freak out when you see a fraction. You guys can do this. You've been working with fractions for a few years, and we're going to work on that this year to help you feel more comfortable. So I am going to look at number 16. On your homework, this is similar to number 15. So if you're struggling with number 15, this should help. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. We have W minus 7/9 equals 2/9. Now, on 1.1, they're being really nice to you because they're giving you fractions that have common denominators, and that makes your life easier. So just like I told you in class, you are going to look at your equation, and we're going to move our constant first. Remember, your constant is the number without a variable. So the opposite of subtracting 7/9 would be to add 7/9. So I'm going to add 7/9, and remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I add 7/9 to both sides. Positive and negative cancel. I bring down my W. And then when you're adding fractions with common denominators, you have to have a common denominator, you add your numerators. 2 plus 7 is 9. And then you keep your denominator. So we have 9/9, which that works out great because that helps me remind you that fractions are just division problems, and 9/9 is the same thing as 1. So this problem, W, is equivalent to 1. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 17. Now, 17, I'm kind of giving you a freebie because this is one of the ones you actually have to do for your homework. So I'm going to rewrite it down here where I have a little bit more room. So I have 3/5 F equals 9. So we talked in class about moving fractions. So when you have a coefficient, which in this case 3/5 is the coefficient of F, I know that this is multiplication. So the opposite of multiplying by 3/5 would be to divide by 3/5. For those of you who don't remember how to divide fractions, remember dividing fractions is easy as pie, flip the second, and multiply. So I'm going to flip the fraction. I'm writing it as a reciprocal and multiplying by 5/3. So when I do that, 5/5 cancels, 3/3 cancels, and I'm left with 1F. Then when you do your multiplication on the other side, remember, this is like 9/1. So I multiply my numerators. 9 times 5 is 45. 1 times 3 is 3. Now, once again, this is just a division problem. So 45/3 actually divides out, and it makes 15. So F is equivalent to 15. Okay? All right, let's look at number 19. This is also a freebie because this is one you're actually supposed to complete on your homework. So we have 32 pi t equals 64 pi. Now, if you've been, thinking about this problem, what was throwing people off in tutoring this morning, they kept asking me, what about this pi? What do I do with pi? Well, since pi is on both sides of the equation, and I'm trying to solve for t, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to treat 32 pi like it's one part. So 32 pi times t is what's happening here. The opposite of multiplying would be to divide. So I'm going to divide by 32 pi. The fact that pi is a symbol doesn't matter because anything divided by itself is just 1. So I'm left with 1t. So on the right side of your equation, when you do 64 pi divided by 32 pi, well, pi divided by pi is 1, and 64 divided by 32 is 2. So I find out that t is equal to 2. Okay? All right, so hopefully that helps a little bit with that section of the assignment. And then I wanted to talk to you a little bit about word problems. So let's go ahead and look at that next section. Okay, so I'm looking at number 21 first. They tell me that we have a laptop whose width is 11.25 inches and that is 0.75 times the length. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle so I can visualize this. So if I know that the width is 11.25 and that is, so the word is telling me equals 0.75 times the length. So I don't know the length. That's what I'm trying to find. But I know that 11.25 is 0.75 times the length. So now I can go ahead and solve this problem. So I'm using my inverse operations again, and I know the opposite of multiplying by 0.75 would be to divide both sides by 0.75. So when I do that, I find out that my length is equal to 15 inches. Okay? So that would be my answer on that one. All right, looking at number 23. It says the population of a city is 645 people less than it was 5 years ago. The current population is 13,500. What was the population 5 years ago? So I know that I'm looking for the population 5 years ago. So if I call that P, I know that I need to subtract 645 from it, and that it should give me the population today, which is 13,500. Okay, so if it's 645 less than the population 5 years ago, that's where I got P minus 645, then it should equal the current population. Then from here, you're just going to use your inverse operations. So the opposite of subtracting 645 would be to add 645. So I'm going to do that to both sides. My positive and negatives cancel, and I know that P, the population, would equal 14,145 people. All right, so hopefully that will provide a little clarification for you guys on your homework, and I hope you have a fantastic evening.